The palace of Queen Alara rose like a crystal fortress from the heart of the alien city. Its towers glimmered under Zephyr 9's dim orange sun, twisting and curving like the flowing lines of a living organism. Ethan's human eyes took in the alien architecture with a mix of awe and caution. He had seen advanced civilizations before, but none like this, beautiful, intimidating, and utterly unfamiliar. He followed Queen Alara down polished walkways that seemed to pulse faintly beneath their feet.
Lyra, small and wide-eyed, walked beside him, holding his hand tightly.
Despite the danger, the child seemed strangely calm in his presence. "This way," the queen said, her voice smooth but firm. She stopped before a massive door etched with glowing alien symbols. With a single gesture, the door slid open silently, revealing a grand hall filled with alien nobles, advisors, and guards. Ethan's boots echoed against the polished floor as he entered. All eyes turned to him, and whispers filled the hall in an unfamiliar language. The humans in the galaxy were rare visitors in this sector, and an unarmed human daring to confront raiders, much less save an alien child, was almost unheard of. Queen Alara gestured to the center of the hall. "Explain yourself, human." Ethan swallowed. The hall was intimidating, but he drew a deep breath. "I'm Ethan. I didn't want your child to be hurt. Your raiders were attacking her, and I couldn't let that happen." A murmur ran through the gathered council. A few aliens tilted their heads, clearly surprised. Humans were unpredictable, even reckless, but sometimes unpredictability could be powerful. "Do you understand the risk you took?" One of the council members asked in heavily accented galactic common. His voice carried authority. "You interfered in the affairs of our clans. Any outsider would be executed for this." Ethan nodded, meeting the alien's gaze. "I understand. I knew the risk. But I also knew that doing nothing would mean a child dies. I couldn't live with that." The queen's gaze softened slightly, though her silver eyes still glinted with caution. She stepped forward, closing the distance between herself and Ethan. "Your words are honorable, human, but words alone are meaningless. Actions are what define worth, and yet, your actions saved my daughter. There is courage in that. But courage alone does not earn trust." Ethan's mind raced. Trust of an entire alien society? He had to think fast. "Then tell me what I need to do. I don't want rewards. I just want her safe, and to help if I can." Queen Alara's expression shifted. Her face was unreadable, but her eyes flicked to Lyra. The child looked at Ethan with unwavering trust. That bond, fragile yet strong, seemed to influence the queen. She spoke again, her voice calm but commanding. "Very well. You will not be executed for now, but your worth must be proven. You will undergo the trial of trust." Ethan blinked. "Trial of trust?" "The trial tests your courage, your intelligence, and your loyalty," the queen explained. "You will face dangers and make choices that reveal the true nature of your character. Fail and the consequences are severe." He nodded, trying to hide the nervousness in his chest. "I understand. I'll do whatever it takes." Lyra tugged his sleeve. "Will it be dangerous?" she asked, her small voice trembling. Ethan smiled down at her. "Yeah, but I've got you. We'll face it together." The queen observed them for a long moment, then turned. "Prepare yourself, human. Your first trial begins at sunrise. You will travel to the northern wilds. Only those who survive the wilderness and protect the innocent may return." Ethan spent the night in a guest chamber, his thoughts racing. The alien palace was magnificent but unfamiliar. The walls shimmered with soft bioluminescent patterns, and strange devices hummed faintly in the corners. He couldn't sleep. He checked his gear again and again. His blaster was small, his supplies minimal. But humans had one advantage: ingenuity. Morning arrived with a dull, reddish haze. Ethan and Lyra were escorted to the palace gates by armored guards. Beyond the gates stretched the northern wilds, a dangerous, untamed region filled with jagged cliffs, swamps, and creatures whose senses were sharper than any predator on Earth. The first challenge began almost immediately. A sudden roar echoed from the cliffs, and Ethan's sensors detected movement. A massive alien predator, a quadruped with scales as hard as metal and claws like daggers, lunged toward them. Lyra screamed, clutching his arm. Ethan didn't panic. He grabbed a large branch from the ground and swung at the creature, forcing it to pause. Then, using quick thinking, he threw a rock to one side, creating a distraction. The predator turned, giving Ethan and Lyra just enough time to climb a steep incline. They scrambled up the rocky slope, breathless, until the creature could no longer reach them. Ethan checked Lyra. She was shaken but unharmed. "See? We make it through together," he said, offering a reassuring smile. Lyra nodded, her trust in him growing. The bond between human and alien child was forming fast, stronger than any words could describe. The next test came as they entered a swamp filled with quicksand-like mud and poisonous plants. Ethan had to find safe paths using his knowledge of terrain and human problem-solving. He carefully led Lyra step by step, avoiding the deadly patches. Several times he almost slipped, but he used his balance and strength to keep both of them safe. As they moved deeper into the swamp, they heard cries for help. Ethan immediately ran toward the sound. A group of alien refugees, trapped by mud and surrounded by predators, struggled to survive. Ethan acted without hesitation, forming a plan. He used fallen branches and vines to create makeshift bridges, guiding the aliens to safety. Lyra helped as much as her small hands could, and Ethan praised her courage. "Good job, Lyra, you're brave," he said, smiling. The refugees, grateful and amazed, called out blessings in their alien language. Ethan didn't understand, but the meaning was clear. His actions were making a difference. Finally, as night fell, Ethan and Lyra reached a cliff overlooking the vast wilderness below. They could see the lights of the alien city far in the distance. Exhausted but alive, Ethan set Lyra down on a flat rock. "We made it this far, but tomorrow, we'll face the final challenge," he said. Lyra leaned against him, her small head resting on his shoulder. Ethan felt a warmth spread through him. Protecting this child wasn't just duty, it was something deeper. Something that made him realize that humans could inspire trust and loyalty in even the most alien of hearts. The next morning, they faced the final trial. Queen Aylara herself appeared, accompanied by her council. They had set a trap, a simulated ambush designed to test whether Ethan would risk his life to protect Lyra or flee to save himself. The moment came. Armed holographic raiders appeared, moving toward Lyra. Ethan acted without hesitation, putting himself between the child and the attackers. He directed Lyra to a safer position while fending off the threats with quick thinking and clever use of the terrain. His small blaster and makeshift tools were enough to outsmart the simulation. The trial ended and the queen stepped forward, her expression softening. "You have proven your courage, human. You have shown loyalty, intelligence, and selflessness. Few outsiders possess such qualities. I'm impressed." Ethan exhaled, relief flooding him. "Thank you, Queen Aylara. That means a lot." She looked at Lyra, then back at him. "It is not only my judgment you have earned, but my trust. My daughter will be safe with you. Yet, there is more to be done. Your actions have shown the best of humans, and perhaps there is a place for you here." Ethan blinked. A place in an alien society? He never imagined such a thing. But the thought was both terrifying and exciting. Lyra giggled, running to him and wrapping her small arms around his leg. "We did it," she said. "Yes, we did," Ethan replied, smiling down at her. For the first time since arriving on Zephyr 9, he felt hope. Human courage, human ingenuity, and human heart had carried them through the trials. And in doing so, he had begun to earn the trust of a queen and the love of a child, connections that could change the course of his life forever. Queen Aylara watched the scene quietly. Her heart, usually guarded and cautious, stirred with something unfamiliar. This human had passed the trial not just with skill, but with the qualities she valued most: courage, loyalty, and compassion. She wondered if humans were truly as exceptional as some legends claimed. Ethan's journey was far from over. The war on Zephyr 9 still raged and many dangers awaited. But for now, he had proven that even a single human could make a difference in the lives of those around them, even in a world so far from Earth. And in that moment, standing in the alien palace surrounded by uncertainty and possibilities, Ethan understood something vital. Humans were not just survivors. They were protectors, innovators, and sometimes heroes in ways that no alien technology or power could match. Word count: a 1,520. Ethan's boots crunched on the red, cracked soil of the remote planet Zephyr 9. He adjusted the strap of his gear pack, glancing at the horizon. Smoke curled up from distant ridges, where explosions marked the ongoing clash between two alien clans. He had come to chart safe trade routes, not to be caught in the middle of a war. But sometimes luck was not on a human side. The sky was a dull orange, hazed with the ash of burning forests. Ethan's sensors picked up movement ahead, small erratic blips fleeing or attacking. He crouched behind a jagged rock formation, scanning. His gut twisted as he saw the shapes of alien raiders running toward something, or someone. Peering closer, he realized it was a child. A small alien, barely taller than a human toddler, with translucent violet skin and eyes like liquid silver. The child's arms flailed as the raiders closed in, their sharp weapons glinting under the dim sun. "Wait. No," Ethan whispered. "Not on my watch." Without thinking twice, he sprinted forward. His human legs carried him faster than the child could react, and before the raiders could adjust, Ethan slammed his shoulder into the closest attacker, sending it sprawling. The other raiders froze, surprised by this small, unarmored human daring to attack. "Come on, kid," Ethan said, grabbing the alien child. She was trembling but instinctively clutched his arm, her tiny fingers squeezing tight. "I've got you." He ducked behind a rock as energy blasts from alien weapons scorched the ground where he had just stood. The raiders shouted in their harsh alien tongue, but Ethan didn't understand the words, and it didn't matter. The intent was clear. They wanted the child and they wouldn't stop. Ethan's mind raced. His gear wasn't made for combat. His blaster was small and low on power, but he had something they didn't: brains and improvisation. Spotting a narrow crevice between two rocks, he bolted toward it, dragging the alien child along. The raiders followed, their heavy steps thundering against the ground. Inside the crevice, Ethan could hear the child's shallow breathing. "You're safe. For now," he whispered, trying to calm her. He took a deep breath himself. Think. Then an idea struck him. He grabbed some loose rocks and tossed them out of the crevice, creating noise and confusion. When one raider leaned in to investigate, Ethan leaped from the shadows, striking the alien with a heavy kick. The raider stumbled, tripping over another rock and falling with a loud crash. The other raiders hesitated. Humans were not supposed to be this quick, this clever, this fearless. Ethan used that hesitation. He led the child through a narrow canyon, zigzagging, ducking, climbing small ledges. Anything to throw off pursuit. The alien child clung to him tightly, and though she didn't speak, he felt the unspoken trust in her grip. Finally, they reached a shallow stream. The water reflected the dim orange sky, and for a moment, Ethan allowed himself to breathe. "We need a plan," he said softly. The child just stared at him with those shining silver eyes. Suddenly, the ground trembled. From the canyon entrance, more raiders appeared, larger and more heavily armed than the ones before. Ethan cursed under his breath. This isn't going to be easy. He scanned the area quickly. The stream was shallow, but it had slippery rocks, perfect for a human-sized trap. He scooped up some wet mud and smeared it on one of the rocks leading toward the canyon entrance. When the next raider stepped on it, it slipped and fell, tumbling down the shallow incline with a surprised scream. Ethan grabbed the child and sprinted again. The raiders roared in frustration. He knew he couldn't keep running forever. He needed a real solution. Up ahead, the canyon opened into a small abandoned outpost. Rusted walls and crumbling towers gave a perfect place to hide. He ducked inside, pulling the child behind him. The raiders didn't follow immediately. They were cautious, and humans were unpredictable. Ethan set the child down behind a rusted metal crate. "Listen, kid. I don't know who your parents are or why they want you, but I'm not letting anything happen to you." "Got it?" She nodded, clutching his arm. His heart warmed at the small gesture. Humans were not the only species capable of bonding, but something about humans made trust and courage stronger. He peered out from behind a broken wall. The raiders were regrouping outside. More were coming, fast, their alien machines roaring. Ethan needed another plan, and fast. "All right," he muttered to himself. "Time to improvise." He scanned the outpost for anything useful. Rusted barrels, old machinery, loose cables. Maybe he could create a trap. He grabbed some scrap metal and tied it to one of the support beams. Then he connected it to an old sensor plate, rigging a crude alarm system. Not perfect, but it might scare them. Moments later, the first raider entered the outpost. Ethan triggered the trap. A loud clang echoed through the empty halls and sparks flew from the machinery. The raider froze, eyes wide, and then scrambled back outside. "Good. One down, hundreds to go," Ethan muttered grimly. The child giggled softly, and Ethan couldn't help but smile. That laugh, Pure, innocent, was worth every risk. Then the most unexpected sound came. A voice, melodic and commanding, yet filled with anger. Enough. Ethan froze. From the entrance of the outpost stepped a tall, regal figure. Her violet skin shimmered like the child's, but her presence was far more imposing. Her eyes, like molten silver, fixed on him. She carried herself with authority, every step purposeful. "Who are you?" Ethan asked cautiously. "I am Queen Alara," she said, her voice both beautiful and terrifying. "And you? You took my child." Ethan instinctively stepped protectively in front of the little girl. "I saved her. Your raiders were going to—" "Silence!" the queen snapped. Her gaze pierced him like a blade. "Humans are unpredictable. You could have killed her. Yet, you did not." "Why?" Ethan swallowed hard. He had no diplomatic training for alien royalty. "Because it was the right thing to do. No one deserves to die for no reason, especially a child." The queen's eyes narrowed, and Ethan could feel the weight of her judgment. Around them, the air seemed to thrum with tension. The child clung to Ethan's leg, looking up at both of them with wide eyes. Queen Alara stepped closer. Her hand reached out, not to touch, but to measure his reaction. "You are human," she said softly. "Yet you act with courage and compassion. Tell me, do all humans act like this?" Ethan shook his head. "No, just some of us try to do the right thing when we can. I didn't want to see anyone hurt. Especially her." For a moment the queen studied him, her expression unreadable. Then she sighed, a sound that carried both relief and frustration. "Very well, human. You have impressed me, but impressing me does not guarantee your safety. My people are not forgiving." Ethan nodded, feeling a mixture of relief and anxiety. "Understood. I only want to protect her and get out of your war zone alive." Queen Alara's gaze softened slightly as she looked at her child. Lyra's small hand clutched Ethan's sleeve tightly. The queen's expression shifted from anger to conflict. She knew this human had done something no other outsider could have done. Save her daughter without fear, without question. "Follow me," she said finally.
"You will explain yourself."
In my palace, Ethan's heart raced. He didn't know what awaited him, but one thing was certain. His life, and perhaps his fate, was now entwined with this alien queen and her daughter. As they walked toward the alien city, the child whispered softly, almost inaudibly, "Thank you." Ethan smiled down at her. "Don't mention it, kid. Let's just survive first, okay?" And in that moment he knew something deep inside him had changed. Humans had faced countless dangers before, but nothing like this. Nothing that tested courage, morality, and heart all at once. But he was ready. For the child, for the queen, for whatever lay ahead. The war-torn planet of Zephyr 9 was dangerous, but for the first time, Ethan felt a spark of purpose, one that no human technology or weapon could give him.